Hello, warriors! I am Miss Thomas, and today I'm going to be reading you guys chapter 11 of Charlie and the Chocolate Factory. This is our One School, One book, and we have already finished up through chapter 10. So we are going to be reading chapter 11, The Miracle, now. Charlie entered the store and laid the damp dollar bill on the counter. "One Wonka's Wimple Scrumptious Fudge Mallow Delight," he said, remembering how much he'd loved the one he had on his birthday. The man behind the counter looked fat and well-fed. He had big lips and fat cheeks and a very fat neck. The fat around his neck bulged out all around the top of his collar like a rubber ring. So it sounds like he's very well-fed, doesn't it? That's my picture that I see in my book. And Charlie hardly has anything to eat, right? He turned and reached behind him for the candy bar. Then he turned back again and handed it to Charlie. Charlie grabbed it and quickly tore off the wrapper and took an enormous bite. Then he took another, and oh, the joy of being able to cram large pieces of something sweet and solid into one's mouth. The sheer bliss of being able to fill one's mouth with rich, solid food. Because Charlie and his family usually don't have enough food at all, right? So they're always making do with what they have. So he now has this chocolate bar all to himself, and he is just shoving it in as fast as he can, isn't he? "You look like you wanted that one, Sonny," the shopkeeper said pleasantly. Charlie nodded, his mouth bulging with chocolate. The shopkeeper put Charlie's change on the counter. "Take it easy," he said. "It'll give you a gut ache if you swallow it without chewing." Charlie went on wolfing the candy. He couldn't stop. In less than half a minute, the whole thing had disappeared down his throat. So wolfing the candy is kind of like you're eating it so fast. It's comparing it to a wolf who eats things very, very quickly. So he's wolfing down this candy. He was quite out of breath, but he felt marvelously, extraordinarily happy. He reached out a hand to take the change. Then he paused. His eyes were just above the level of the counter. They were staring at the little silver coins laying there. The coins were all dimes. So remember, dimes are worth 10 cents each. There were 9 of them altogether. Surely it wouldn't matter if he spent just one more. So it's 10 cents for a chocolate bar. This book was written a long time ago, right? Now if you're getting a chocolate bar, like a normal size candy bar, it definitely costs more than 10 cents. "I think," he said quietly, "I think I'll have just one more of those candy bars. The same kind as before, please." "Why not?" the fat shopkeeper said, reaching behind him and taking another Wimple Scrumptious Fudge Mallow Delight from the shelf. He laid it on the counter. So it sounds like this shopkeeper has plenty of food, and it sounds like he probably has plenty of money too, right? Because he's saying, why wouldn't you spend an extra dime? Charlie doesn't have that much money, so it's a big deal to him to be spending this money, but it's also a big deal to be getting all this yummy chocolate that he never gets to get. Charlie picked it up and tore off the wrapper. And suddenly, from underneath the wrapper, there came a brilliant flash of gold. Charlie's heart stood still. "It's a golden ticket!" screamed the shopkeeper, leaping about a foot in the air. "You've got a golden ticket! You found the last golden ticket! Hey, what do you know? Come look at this, everybody! The kid found Wonka's last golden ticket! There it is! It's right there in his hands!" It seemed as though the shopkeeper might be going to have a fit. "In my shop, too!" he yelled. "He found it right here, in my own little shop! Somebody call the newspapers quick! Let them know! Watch out now, Sonny! Don't tear it as you unwrap it! That thing's precious." In a few seconds, there was a crowd of about 20 people clustering around Charlie, and many more were pushing their way in from the street. Everybody wanted to get a look at the golden ticket and at the lucky finder. So if you've ever been in a kind of small room before, the candy shop is kind of a small room. So, the bathrooms are probably about the same size. So they'll fit some people. But there was already 20 people in there, and more people are coming in, so it's getting really, really tight. "Where is it?" somebody shouted. "Hold it up so all of us can see." Remember Charlie's little tinies. They're saying, "Hold it up," which would make me a little nervous. There it is! There! Someone else shouted. He's holding it in his hands. See the gold shining? How did he manage to find it, I'd like to know? A large boy shouted angrily. 20 bars a day I've been buying for weeks and weeks. 20 candy bars every day. I don't even have a candy bar, like one candy bar every day. Think of all the free stuff he'll be getting too, another boy said enviously. A lifetime supply. He'll need it, the skinny little shrimp, a girl said laughing. Charlie hadn't moved. He hadn't even unwrapped the golden ticket from around the candy bar. He was standing very still, holding it tightly with both hands, while the crowd pushed and shouted all around him. He felt quite dizzy. There was a peculiar floating sensation coming over him, as though he were floating up in the air like a balloon. His feet didn't seem to be touching the ground at all. He could hear his heart thumping away loudly somewhere in his throat. So you might have had that happen to you before too, when you're kind of nervous and you can almost hear your own heartbeat, like kind of in your own head. At that point, he became aware of a hand resting lightly on his shoulder. And when he looked up, he saw a tall man standing over him. Listen, the man whispered, I'll buy it from you. I'll give you $50. How about that, eh? And I'll give you a new bicycle as well, okay? So Charlie, remember his family doesn't have any money. They're very, very poor. And this man is offering to give him $50, which must seem like a huge amount of money to Charlie. Are you crazy? Shouted a woman who was standing equally close. I'd give him $500 for the ticket. You want to sell that ticket for $500, young man? So this man sounds like he's being nice. He's going to give him $50. But this lady's willing to give him $500. So this man was kind of trying to trick him, wasn't he? That's quite enough of that, the fat shopkeeper shouted, pushing his way through the crowd and taking Charlie firmly by the arm. Leave the kid alone, will you? Make way there. Let him out. And to Charlie, as he let him out the door, he whispered, Don't you let anybody have it. Take it straight home quickly before you lose it. Run all the way and don't stop till you get there. You understand? Charlie nodded. So the shopkeeper's looking out for Charlie, isn't he? You know something? The fat shopkeeper said, pausing a moment and smiling at Charlie. I have a feeling you needed a break like this. I'm awfully glad you got it. Good luck to you, Sonny. Thank you, Charlie said. And off he went, running through the snow as fast as his legs would go. And as he flew past Mr. Willy Wonka's factory, he turned and waved and sang out, I'll be seeing you soon. And 5 months later, he arrived at his own home.